Yes, I am a well-dressed man. I am Anthony Giarrusso here in part 3. I honestly was not anticipating a part 3 for this, because I thought I'd get to this in part 2. Anyway, I'm going to talk about infrastructure, especially along the east coast of Florida, where within the next 10 years it's going to get severely more crowded, and we need to act immediately and do exactly as I propose, because I know that there's going to be a large amount of people moving to Florida, especially on the East Coast. So in my Freedom of Travel Act, I'm going to make sure that I, the governor, have control of being able to create plans and get these plans done and completed for the success of the infrastructure of the state of Florida, which is very, very important. So yes, we're going to be getting rid of highway speed limits, but also, especially on 95, Interstate 95, we need to create a project where it is 6 lanes on each side from the Georgia border all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. Now, yes, 95 does extend past Fort Lauderdale, and I'll get to why I don't want to extend it past Fort Lauderdale later, but we know that Fort Lauderdale traffic is absolutely disgusting. We know that West Palm Beach traffic is absolutely disgusting. Traffic is just absolutely disgusting in general. So that is why we need to do that. I've noticed in some sections of 95, they've made it from like a 2-lane to a 3-lane. That's not enough. We need to go all out, 6 lanes on each side. Because the traffic is horrid. 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 Have you ever seen Jacksonville city traffic on the highway or on one of the ring roads? It's awful. It is awful. And absolutely inexcusable. So as governor, the first project I want to make sure gets done, or at least gets started by the time I am governor, is making all those lanes on Interstate 95 because of how traveled that is. And with more and more slow trucks coming in, we're going to need more lanes for people to pass at top speed in their high-end exotic cars, or whatever car that they want to pretend is a high-end exotic car with their performance parts. Speaking of performance parts, in my Freedom of Travel Act, I will make it legal for all powertrain modifications, so that's your transmission and engine, all forced induction modifications, all ECU or whatever the equivalent to an ECU is for your vehicle, all of those performance modifications, brakes, tires, suspension, all of that will be road legal in the state of Florida, because you can actually make your own vehicle that runs on gasoline more fuel efficient than what the automakers have created, especially when I legalize weight reduction to however you would like. It'll build car culture here in the state of Florida. More cars, in theory, will be bought, even from new and used together. More CPOs as well, and that's excellent for the sales representatives. It's also excellent for car collectors and modifiers and automobile clubs and luxury clubs. They're all going to benefit from this, and that's a lot of people. Florida has many racetracks. So allowing people to create better track day vehicles. Not only does having some of these performance parts make your vehicle more ecologically friendly to save Johnny Polar Bear, it will also make your vehicle more fun to drive and just better in every single way to the customer's liking. So phase one of my high-speed train idea, and this can be done in 2 years, immediately after I take office as governor, because I want this to get done. Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and Daytona. So, to conserve the environment, a good way is to have high-speed trains that run on magnets. Now, a benefit to that is that it doesn't pollute the environment, but it also gets business people going to where they want to go or need to go faster and very direct from city to city instead of going and stopping at every town like a normal train. My train idea is that this train will travel at about 125 miles an hour, which is very quick. Okay? If you were traveling at 125 miles an hour from city to city, you would probably run out of fuel. Depending on the vehicle and how fuel efficient it is, you might travel at 125 on the highway and run out of fuel before you get to your destination. So this high-speed train idea is actually a pretty good idea. It's not just for passengers, it'll also be for cargo. I actually believe that there's actually going to be more cargo trains than passenger trains on this one, where we can do intercity travel at a higher speed, literally for less cost to anybody delivering cargo than what a regular train would do. That's really good. And that's how you slowly build infrastructure. And this can be done in 2 years with those 3 cities. Now let's take a look at phase 2. Phase 2 is pretty much the same thing, but in different cities. Phase 2 will take 2 years. So after we've already completed up here, we're going to do down here in the central eastern portion of Florida. It's going to go to West Palm Beach. It's going to go to Port St. Lucie, and it's going to go to Melbourne. That's really good. And why is this important? Well, remember, traffic, we don't like traffic. We don't like traffic at all. So wouldn't it be nice to go, let's say if you're up in Melbourne, and you want to go down to West Palm Beach fast without having to drive all that way? Take the train, go shopping, go enjoy something. Or you might be able to travel literally from Palm Beach International Airport to Melbourne International Airport for connecting flights without having to take a Clipper plane. So there's other possibilities, but I want to focus on cargo, because cargo going up and down is going to be very important, but it's going to be more important at phase 3, and this is the best one. Phase 3, and this is going to really help especially with cargo and also people who want to travel from city to city. We are going to connect Melbourne with Daytona. And then we're also going to have a high-speed 250 mile per hour, that's literally Bugatti Veyron speeds, direct from Jacksonville to West Palm Beach. Traveling cargo at 250 miles an hour is significantly more efficient than making it travel at 125 miles an hour, or even, usually they're going maybe less than 60 miles an hour on the regular train, and I got to make frequent stops. This is excellent because now passengers and cargo will be able to go from Jacksonville to West Palm Beach with no stops. Okay? And to do the high-speed train with the connection, I believe that's going to add another 4 years. So it'll be 2, 2, and 4. So 1, 2, and 3 of those phases, all done in 8 years. And that includes if hurricanes slam into the state of Florida. I've already predicted for that. I've already predicted for, yes, silly people doing strikes. I've already calculated for this. It's all of this can be done in 8 years, even if these stupid things happen. And at the same time, while the 95 highway is being widened, we're doing this. This is going to significantly improve Florida infrastructure. Okay? Now you might say, well, Anthony, we know that you could do this as a governor, but what about when you're not governor? What could the next governor do? Well, that's pretty easy. Phase 4. I want to build the high-speed trains directly from Jacksonville to Orlando and Orlando to West Palm Beach. So that's traveling cargo at 250 miles an hour. So imagine how efficient that could be for companies transporting materials. Think about that. Also, if you're in West Palm Beach and you want to go to SeaWorld, take the train. And you want to vote for me, so then these trains can exist in the future. I'm AnthonyGiarrusso. I approve this message. But let's keep going. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, look at this. So what you're seeing is I've connected Melbourne with Orlando, Daytona with Orlando, Melbourne with Kissimmee, Kissimmee with Orlando, Kissimmee with Lakeland, Lakeland with Tampa, and Tampa with Clearwater. Now the blue is the 125 mile per hour train, and the green is the already existing high-speed train system. So, for example, you could high-speed train from West Palm Beach to Orlando, get on the Kissimmee train, or you could go from Melbourne directly to Kissimmee and go all the way across. See, once you start building a large network of high-speed trains that do cargo and passengers and make it more readily available to the cargo industry, that's how you build infrastructure here in Florida. And this is going to affect people on the West Coast now in a very positive way. So this is phase 5. We're going to connect Gainesville, Ocala, St. Petersburg, Fort Myers, and we're also going to have a direct Tampa to West Palm high-speed train. This is going to be extremely important at this stage in the game after all of these other trains have already been built and all of these other train system networks have been built. This is going to be the ultimate opportunity to make Florida a more independent economy, so then Florida can be a state that stands out for its economy over the other 49 states. It's a Florida special, a Florida advantage. I also have a couple of other possibilities that I'm just going to show you real quick. This one was just all high-speed trains going all over the place. So I've got, another backup plan. And then I also have the idea of doing high-speed trains and different higher speed trains that aren't as fast across the state of Florida, connecting to almost every single city directly. Wouldn't it be nice to have a train that goes directly from West Palm all the way up to Ocala, or even creating a direct line from Tallahassee to Orlando? Exactly. So with this one, this actually opens up the most amount of opportunities. However, this is also the most expensive and the most complicated to actually make. So I don't think this is actually going to happen, but it does give Florida a huge advantage if this idea or any of these train ideas were to come into existence here in the state of Florida for cargo and for passenger trains. And then this one is just pretty much mostly the East Coast and Central Florida with the high-speed trains and some direct lines. This is another more reasonable one. Just kind of like a backup plan, just in case. I'm Anthony Giarrusso, and if I ran for governor, and if you vote for me, I will do whatever I can with my power to make sure that our community here in the state of Florida gets those trains. I'm Anthony Giarrusso. I approve this message. Have a wonderful day. Bye.